You might have remembered Memorial Day weekend, when people in the Lake of the Ozarks just had themselves a nice party, a pool party, and some of us party crashers, we were worried that that might have consequences, and it might result in people getting coronavirus, because the people doing the partying weren't socially distancing, they weren't wearing masks, and it turned out, lurking amongst them were people who were positive for coronavirus. News is now reporting a person who partied in the Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri area on Memorial Day weekend has tested positive for coronavirus and was possibly infectious over the holiday weekend. The Boone County resident visited multiple bars on May 24th and 25th, according to the Camden County Health Department. They developed illness on Sunday and were possibly infectious before them. The person, who was not identified, also went to Shady Gators and Lazy Gators, those are different places, and Buffalo Wild Wings, because of course. So this person was not only sick potentially with coronavirus at that point, but was also really getting around, going
Just
to
bar
multiple
hopping.
bars, like seriously, and then coming back to Shady Gators later on. And I get it, it sounds fun. But if you were at one of those places, you need to know that there were potentially people there and potentially spreading coronavirus. This is not purely hypothetical anymore. The sickness is coming from inside the room.
Yeah.
I doubt you're surprised. Honestly.
Not surprised at all. I'm just like, yeah, of course. We all knew that was going to happen. And I get it. I think we're going to start to see this summer, people who want to go to pool parties, they want to hang, they want to pretend. And no matter what your political leanings are, you're going to want to pretend that everything is okay. And it's still not. This virus is still out there. It's still killing people. It's still asymptomatic.
Yep.
And I also think we're going to see, there's part of me that's like, I get why you want to go to a pool party. You're going to have to deal with a baby pool in, your front yard for the time being. You can't go out. And yeah, they're going to be like celebrities in private jets going to their like beach vacations. You can't do that. Sorry, You're not a millionaire. And once again, yeah, income inequality is a problem. Get yourself a baby pool. Exactly.
So look, those people, like we said, we were scared at the time, didn't have masks, weren't socially distancing. I just want to briefly go back to this photo has been spread quite a bit, 150,000 retweets from the protests over the weekend of these protesters marching past this group having brunch. And as many people noticed immediately, the protesters are virtually all wearing masks. The people at brunch, none of them are. And that's something that I've definitely noticed, that one of the ways that right-wingers have tried to disregard them is saying like, oh, you say you care about coronavirus and now you're out in the streets. Virtually all of them are taking it seriously, wearing masks. Yeah, sometimes they can't socially distance, totally true, but they are wearing the masks, which is more than can be said for not only the anti-lockdown protesters from a few weeks ago, but lots of people just going around today, including cops not wearing masks, by the way. Sometimes gas masks for the chemical weapons they're deploying. And let's also mention, just briefly, you might remember from about 2 weeks ago when it was announced that Donald Trump was going to be recalling West Point cadets so that he could give a speech to them on June 13th. And when that news was announced, people were worried, well, this seems like a horrible time for you to pack halls with West Point cadets and potentially spread coronavirus amongst them. We now find out that 16 West Point cadets ahead of that speech have tested positive for COVID-19. They're back on campus for that speech, which will come up in 2 weeks. We have, in addition, 71 or more of the 5,000 faculty, staff, and civilians have also tested positive. So, we don't do a lot of updates of this sort, and I'm not one of the people who generally is a big fan of telling you so. But in both of these cases, yeah, the concerns were justified. And the potential vectors for coronavirus to continue to be spread are still out there. Obviously, we've got significant problems that we're dealing with in this country, but, hundreds, if not more than 1,000 people are dying every day from coronavirus still, so just bear that in mind. That problem has not gone away just because we have other problems as well. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.